Welcome to the wonderful world of Waikato Sheds, my friends. We've got an interesting one today, so we're in the boardroom. We're talking money. We're here with Hayley Wright from PKF. Hayley, welcome in.
Thank you.
As you might have seen on the title, we're talking the 20% off for tradies, businesses, depreciation. I saw it, I was excited, Mark was excited, he thought it was 20% off depression and he was like, more happiness, the better. But we wanted to find out, how does that actually work if you're looking for a pole shed, a ute, a new laptop or something. So we got the experts, PKF, Hayley's a director, and been looking after Brian and Waikato Sheds and the orchards for like 30 plus years. So tell us a moment about PKF and yourself, Hayley.
Thanks, Jason. Well, as you said, my name is Hayley Wright. I'm a director at PKF Accountants. We provide trusted business advisory, taxation and accounting services, helping Kiwi businesses make informed decisions. So, the new tax policy that came out in May with the budget is basically it's an accelerated depreciation that you can claim on new assets. It's very beneficial for business owners or farmers who want to invest in infrastructure and claim a accelerated depreciation and reduce their taxable income.
Sounds interesting. Sounds confusing already. I'm a simple shed building man. So how about we jump out and check out a pole shed and you can explain how that would work if you're going to do it. All right, should we make it happen? Awesome, we're inside our consent-free pole shed. If you are interested, Hayley, or if other people want to come in and see it, all of this is in the wonderful world of Waikato Sheds, so showing it off. But for argument's sake, you're a Kiwi farmer, you want to invest and grab yourself a new pole shed, or and this one wouldn't cost this much, so don't be concerned. But so let's just, for argument's sake, say it was 100 grand. How would this new rule affect them?
Great, I like round numbers. So say this costs 100 grand.
Yep.
You would be able to claim a one-off tax deduction in the first year of 20%. So that's saving 20 grand off your taxable income. So then you would only pay tax on that reduced taxable income amount. And it's come at the opportune time because IRD have recently removed depreciation on commercial buildings. So you're getting that deduction when you wouldn't normally with this new policy.
Awesome. So it is a kickstart. And I think that's what they've intentionally said, is they're trying to kickstart a whole lot more infrastructure building and people investing into the economy and that. So you can get a great pole shed like this where they're storing the tractors or the classic cars. What about if we're in here? Could we do it for the trailer and the tools type situation?
Yeah, the key is with, you just got to think this trailer is part of my business, helps me derive income. So the only key is you need to buy a new trailer. So
it was new once, but it's okay, so that's really cool.
And the tools as well, just buy them new, and with the tools that have quite high depreciation rates anyway, some of them about 50, 67%, you get 20% on top of that in that first year. And then you would depreciate them normally in the following years.
So it's all 20% on top?
Yeah, in that first year, just that when you first buy it. Now, so that's why it's called a boost, depreciation boost.
Now, I'm just asking the question, as people might be like, hey, is there any rules like, can it be a flash pole shed like this?
Certainly can, yeah.
Right. So if you want a fancy one and if you wanted a nice little office set up or something in there, that would be fine for it. So it seems like now is an opportune moment to invest into it, which is what the government's doing, so thumbs up to them. All right, well, we've talked pole sheds. Should we jump back into the office and talk about commercial sheds and utes and how that can work?
Sounds good.
Let's do it. Awesome. So we found out about the pole sheds and that's awesome for everybody. We're back in the office. Now we do a lot of commercial kit sets up and down the country, and then we do builds all over the greater Waikato, North Waikato, Auckland. But if someone's looking to build themselves a new workshop, say for being a panel beater or storage sheds and that, and say it costs roughly $500,000 for a whole building and fit out, how does that work? In terms of, they also able to claim 20%?
Yes. So say they go and spend $500,000 on a new shed, they are entitled to a 20% $100,000 tax deduction off their taxable income for that year. So there's no actual money saved there in terms of cash, but they do get to reduce their taxable income and then pay less tax on that amount. Depending on what structure they're under, if they're operating a company, they'd pay 28%. Depending on your structure, depends on how much tax you pay.
Awesome. So if you're like us, that already lost me a little bit. I don't know about you guys, but if you're just focusing on doing the good work, you're making the money, is it's just going to enable you to invest in those assets and you're going to end up being able to work in and pay less tax. That sounds good to me. Blessings to the government, great job, guys. But, you only want to pay our fair share and no more on the tax. So definitely, so it applies to, so we've already said pole sheds, it applies to all the commercial properties. Is there any carve-outs? Is it like it applies to workshops but not childcare centres or?
Any commercial and industrial buildings it applies to. The only thing that it does not apply to is residential buildings. So unfortunately, one of the epic habitable sheds that Waikato Sheds can do actually falls outside of that net.
All right, now what about Mark's been on the case for me at the moment saying he wants a new Hilux. He's seen it, he's seen lots of utes at field days and that, but people are looking to upgrade the ute. Is there anything in there for the ute?
Yes.
The ute lovers out there?
Yeah, absolutely. If you've got your eye on a new Hilux, the case it needs to be new. You can't buy a second hand. Any of these, this policy only applies to new assets purchased. So let's say there's a new Hilux you've got your eye on, it's cost $50,000. You can get an accelerated depreciation claim of $10,000 off in that first year, plus you get the normal depreciation you would get in year one on a ute, which is 30%. So that gives you another $12,000 off the $50,000.
So that's $24,000 off your taxable income.
22,000. I said 10 and 12.
That's it, and I just added it up wrong. That's it. Young Sean, you're not alone out there. Now, I bet some of the people are being in there, well, all good for you business owners and farmers and that. Is there any way that this could apply for a normal employee, or is the government just trying to look after the businesses?
Yeah, so you need to be in business. You need to be operating with the intention to make a profit. That could be as a sole trader, a company, it doesn't matter, but you need an income deriving asset to claim the depreciation expense against it. You need to be generating taxable income to get a deduction off your tax. I should also probably note one thing is when you go to sell that building or dispose of that building in the future, there might be some depreciation recovery income on that asset, which could be significant in the case of buildings. So you should probably talk to your accountant about these things.
Yeah. Just like we would say for the sheds, come talk to the experts. We know what's going on. Maybe talk to somebody else as well. Compare, see what's going on. But have a chat to the accountants. I think one of the things we've certainly done a lot with, and it's quite cool, so we chat with Hayley and that all the time, is having trusted experts. We're good at sheds. We're good at building sheds. We're good at having fun, having a laugh. But it's good to be able to have a chat and find out. I don't think there's any accountants out there that wouldn't be happy to just have a chat and be able to explain what's going on. Now, I know around Morrinsville there's been a little bit of a stir, you could say, as a few people have been talking about upgrading the pond stirrers on the farm and getting themselves a new boat, to sort of hoon around and make sure that effluent's well stirred up. So if I was looking at some sort of nice boat situation from Fish City that could get in there with a nice Yamaha to stir up the pond, would that count?
Well, in theory, it sounds good, doesn't it? That boat is helping. But the key is you need to ensure that that asset is for business use. There's likely to be some recreational use there. And if you were to claim depreciation on that with using the investment boost or normal depreciation, it could be risky and not in line with IRD guidelines. So that is another reason why you should talk to your accountant.
That's it. So before we rush off and get the boats, my friends, maybe speak to the accountant, see what they're prepared to do. Is there any other ones that we could do? What about if you wanted to upgrade the bar fridge in the workplace? Would that count?
The bar fridge is an income deriving asset because you could argue because it services the employees to get their refreshments from there. It is part of the business. Yes, it depends on how you justify it and argue it.
So it's all about how you're going to be setting it up and how you're going to be using it.
Yes.
Well, why don't we pop out and check out what the bar fridge is looking like, and then maybe we can understand whether it's going to depreciate or not. Shall we go and do that quickly? All right, we're in the shed quarters bar. Hayley, can you confirm it? The good news, would one of these be tax deductible?
Yes, I think the key is as long as this is helping you derive income, it's a business asset. So as you can see, this holds some refreshments for your staff, and you need your staff to be working and generating income for you.
Absolutely. Keep them well hydrated, well fueled. Don't worry. Waters, zeros, mid-strengths, cokes. Dry July, actually, my friends. So, you know, there's a range in here.
Yeah, you could argue that there's a 50% kind of personal benefit to the alcohol as an entertainment deduction is only allowed 50%, but I think it's best to talk to your accountant, and it also helps that you do keep the milk in here.
Yeah, there we go. That's it. Supporting our dairy farmers. We love the milk. Hey, look, thanks, Hayley, once again for coming and explaining this. Now, if somebody wants to just get some down-to-earth advice and just run through it, how would they best get in touch with yourself and PKF?
So you can find us online, go to pkf.co.nz. We've got 13 offices around New Zealand. Our office is based here in Hamilton, and we're in the north end of Victoria Street. So you can find us online on Instagram, Facebook, and just come in and see us, really.
That's it. So don't be afraid. I know I was a little scared of accountants, but they're just like us. They just know the numbers better. So don't be afraid. They're here to help. They're here to have a laugh, and they're here to have a good time too. So yeah, thanks for watching. Any questions, drop it in the comments below. I'll certainly get back to you. I'll speak to Hayley. She'll be able to get back to you, and we'll be able to help you out from there. All right.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for watching and getting to the end of this video. Without you guys, we would have no channel. Big shout out to the whole team at Waikato Shed, always working hard and putting in the effort behind the scenes to make it happen. All our suppliers, New Zealand Steel, Colour Steel, Metalcraft, Cladding, Fisher, Windows, Connect, always backing us and behind us, as well as all our subbies and builders. They're doing a great job. If you've got any questions, just hit us up in a comment below. I'll always make sure to answer it. Shout us a like. And if you want to see any more of us, who doesn't? Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, just look up Waikato Sheds or Noble Sheds, even LinkedIn, and you'll find us on there. Otherwise, you might like this video or this video, and make sure to subscribe. Cheers, guys.